How to make a colored glass feature out of a piece of old railway track and some 17-year-old glass paint. At this point, I do not know how. This is going to be a challenge, and I'm going to, hopefully at the end of this video, have a lovely feature for this doll's house. Anyway, so I'm going to begin by actually just pouring the colored glass onto here. This is like just basically a plastic sheet, and you get this stuff. You can still buy this. It may well be 17 years old, but you can still get it. Well, obviously. Now, a lot of them have been clogged up, so it may not start well, but basically, oh, there you go. I'm just going to do that. Because these take they can take several hours, 12 hours to 24 hours. Okay, toothpicks, they just kind of thin it out a little bit. Well, maybe a bit too much. Because otherwise well, for one, it takes a long time to dry, and I'm really impatient. And also, I don't know what the also is, but yeah, so I'm going to get all the other colours on there. And then put these aside. Okay, before I set these aside, I just wanted to say that it really amazes me how different the colours are when they dry. This one, if you watch my video about miniature doors, it goes a completely dark green. I was so confused as to where the dark green colour was, and then I found out it's this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting some of these out. So I'm going to cut this one here off. Thankfully, I've got a nice new knife. The knife I had before was really, really old and blunt. Okay, I am going to cut. And I do have more train tracks, so if I make a horrible mess, I can always do it again. I've cut all the bits off in the back, so I've now moved them so that they kind of fit at angles. So the next job is to measure out some perspex and then cut it and hope that it actually fits, which it will do, of course. So cut a little bit of perspex out so that I don't have to worry about wasting, because I know this is probably not going to work out so well. So I'm just going to start by roughly drawing a line, and I'm just going to attempt it with this one. So that one. Now, I followed a little tutorial on how to do this, and I really should have been using a ruler, but I'm actually just going to do it freehand, because if it doesn't work, I can try again. I should have made that down there, but no matter. You basically score a few times to see how thick you can get it, and then you snap it off. Wow. I'm out. So yeah, that's gonna happen, but yeah, knowing that I was going to waste it anyway, doesn't matter. Like, that's pretty cool, and it's actually not bad. So let's see if it fits. I'm not sure which one it was. Doesn't feel like that one. But the great thing is, it does actually fit. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm going to have a go at making one that is actually going to fit the whole of that. I'm not quite sure, so let's just say there. To be honest, I could just do it all the way to there, but I'm not going to do that. And there, and I've got this right up against the edge of the perspex. I'm going to take it all the way up. Yeah, let us see what happens with that. And if I didn't say this already, so this, I bought this on Amazon. I think it was just $6.99. It's a special cutter tool for acrylic, and it comes with other blades as well, so it's all good. Now, I think it was this one. That way. Look at that, it doesn't fit. Woohoo! Of course, I can move these a little bit. That looks all right to me. That I'm happy with, and I can put, because the clay is going to go there, so it's actually probably going to fill that area up. But if I have it so the clay kind of doesn't cover it all up, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the other ones out. Perspex is cut out, colors are set, so now I just have to cut out areas of this to just stick onto the perspex, and it should be relatively simple. So what I want to do is just like for the first one, I'm not going to cut big long bits out. I'm just going to cut out like a section And hopefully, yeah, so if I cut to there, as this stuff just peels off really nicely, I'm going to see how it looks on this very first one. And I really hope it is set properly, because sometimes it's soft and it's not quite set. But as I'm not leaving any fingerprints or anything, I think we're all good. Oh, I can see a little bit of a fingerprint there. The other thing that I left was the little bubbles, and I quite like these. Normally I try and get stuff out of like that, but there we go, there's the first one. So I'm just going to stick this on here, like so. So what I need to do is just trim it a little bit. I might need to, oh, that's fine. Didn't think I need a knife, but there we go, that's cool. And then just see how it looks. So that's how it's going to look, and then I can just trim. What I can do is get my new knife out and get that sorted without damaging the perspex underneath. Will it cut it? Oh yeah, easily. Perfect. If I just line it now, rough. Let me see that. I know that one. There. So I think the green would go with the brown. Ooh! And it's so easy to cut. Oops. A little too easy to cut. I've done that a bit too short. Again, this may not come out quite right. See, that wants to go on with a little bit of a space. There. This, actually coming to think of it, this bit is going to be almost all in the clay, because the clay is probably going to come up to about here, and then it's going to come probably there. So, but I like that, actually, that does work. That works for me, and I think maybe a little bit of purple here. What I'm going to do is just cut all these bits out and do it all, put it all together, and well, at least do these bits, and then I shall be right back with the next bit. Okay, here it is, and I am so impressed with this. This has turned out so much better than I actually thought it would. So I'm just going to turn this light out. Yeah, that looks really, really cool, and I think it'll look really nice with a little tea light behind it. And then, so what I'm going to do next is make the frame with the clay. I'm hoping I'm not going to ruin it by doing that, but we shall see. Right, I've got the tiniest amount of clay. I mean, it's not tiny, but it's not a lot of clay. But what I want to do is make this as thin as possible so that I don't end up messing up what I've already made. So this is genuinely scary, but I am going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. Awesome. Right, so I'm going to stick with that. I should be cleaning my fingers at this point, but nope. Push him in there, and I want to push it in quite far. So what I want to do is just wrap it. Oops, I've just seen a nasty fingerprint on the front there. So I'm wrapping it around. I quite like that. I think that is going to work. I think that will do it. And maybe, yeah, like I said, maybe I could actually just saw that bit off, or I could have it, I don't know, I think it needs, I don't know, is that crazy? Do I want to have it on that side as well? Because this is just going to be messy. I think what I'm going to do, I think just to make me feel better, is I'm going to get some clay and I'm just going to put it on the other side so it looks like a structure similar to the door. In fact, it will then sort of match the side of the door and we'll all be happy, and it doesn't have to be very thick. This is it. So I'm going to put some detail on here and then I'm going to leave it overnight. I'm basically going to try and match it up with this. I'm going to use this, which was one of my sort of practice thingies for making the snow, just to do a little bit of detail everywhere, because it's got that fake snow on it. I'm just going to make it look like it's got these little holes on it, little dots. I did have a piece of aluminium foil screwed up that I was going to use for this, but it's disappeared. It's probably on the floor somewhere. That's wonderful. So we just want to make it look like it's actually made out of stone. Got a little bit of detail here and there. And I am just making this for show. It doesn't have to last. If it falls apart in a few weeks, that is fine. It's not something that's gonna be sold or be used for years. And I quite like the idea of that. I don't like having to make something that has to stay together. And if it does fall apart, I can reuse these because I love these. And I think, you know, I can make something amazing with it. So I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna leave it overnight, and then in the morning I am going to stick some paint on. Clay is now dry, and before it dried completely this morning, I did actually snip the front of this so it looked like this, but it wasn't sitting flush against the board here. So I cut it off with scissors, and I really like the texture. So maybe I will perhaps try that next time and do a kind of scissors thing. So what I'm going to do now is literally just take these colors, mix them together, and then paint this. I'm pretty much going to go off camera. Ooh, I'm just going to throw my pen. That's a really good start. So I'm just going to get random colors and not have it too thick. I do like to just put a wash on, and I've also got to be careful that I don't paint over the paint. The paint, that's not what I'm looking for. I've got to be careful that I don't go on the glass. I'm still in two minds as to whether to paint the sleepers and the rail, but we shall see. I do not like it. It kind of reminds me of something that you'd find in an army somewhere, an army barracks, and very, very green, very black. So what I want to do is, because I'm going to put it behind this seat, which is this brown, I am going to go over the whole thing with just mixing the brown and the yellow and the white and see if I can completely lighten the whole thing up and maybe even match the color with this, because I started painting this black and sort of drawing in the black there. So I'm going to have a go at doing that and see whether I like it better. I love this so much better. And what I'm planning on doing is sticking some of this grassy stuff that I've got on here sort of up here, and kind of twisting up and putting it on the top here as well, so I don't have to cut that off, and making it a bit more of an organic kind of natural something. So I've added a little bit of brown on here on the actual railway track itself, and so all I'm going to do now is literally shove some glue on here and randomly stuff this on. So I'm just going to glue wherever I see fit, and also I want to make sure, in fact maybe I'll do it up here first, because I want to see if I can give this, like the whole thing, just stick some stuff on and maybe put it over there. And I want it to be quite big, and I am literally, as I say, just randomly gonna stick it on. And already I'm thinking that's quite good. I quite like what I've got here. I might need to put a bit more glue on the top. And at the moment I'm pretty much using the same glue for everything. So I used to use hot glue for everything, and I find that obviously there is a glue that we need, and I want to start learning to do things properly, because I have a tendency to just trial and error, which is great, but it's also more time consuming. There are so many tutorials and how-tos on YouTube that it takes only seconds now to find out how to do something. And it's like how to cut the perspex. I got the right material and I did all the right stuff. I like that. I have a little squeak in my voice. So I have a little bit of a virus, but that's cool. I'm all good. Right. So, okay, I am loving this. It looks really, really good. I'm so happy with the end result. One thing that's happened though is that I'm working on really, really hard is planning, executing, making sure that there is enough room on my phone to film so it doesn't run out. So I am learning from every mistake that I make, learning from all the things I'm doing and getting better and better with each little thing. Anyway, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get some white paint, and I am going to just give it a bit of a snowy feel, because this is still the winter garden, even though I love it the way it is. And I think I'd like to put some more sort of lighter green on there and give it a bit more of a spring feel. I think what I am going to do is just cover it with snow, because that is the point. And then, I mean, we've still got a couple of months left of the winter, so it's good. I can't get the lid back on. Okay, yeah. And all we have to do now is, preferably not using dirty water, but I have been up and down all the time and I'm not going to bother. Also with this lichen and other things like that, it does soak up the water, so when you put it on it looks really great, and then suddenly it sort of disappears because it's soaked into the lichen. But here we are. So while we're doing this, let's go to the important stuff. I am trying to grow my channel at the moment and trying really to grow a business where I start doing this a lot more often. I absolutely love making miniatures, and I love creating new ideas and just finding ways of doing things and learning as I go. So it would really, really help if at this moment you just click that like button and even give me a comment and a subscribe if you haven't already. But one thing that I remember when I used to first watch YouTube was I always watched it on the television. And it's really funny because I had no idea that there was such a thing as a like button and a comments and subscription. I just used to put the telly on, go to YouTube, and this was a couple of years, well, maybe 3-4 years ago, longer, just go to YouTube, and it would kind of be in my sort of, I don't know what you call it, in the recommended video sections would be the people that I'd watched before, so I didn't need to subscribe, I didn't need to do anything, and obviously a lot of people don't come back, so I would absolutely understand from that point of view, because I was very much like that for years. So I am happy also just to have the views and maybe give someone a bit of inspiration and whatever. As she starts rambling, because it's like, yeah. Okay, I think we have actually finished. Maybe a little tiny bit up there. And that's it. We are done. Here it is in situ, and I am really, really happy with that. So I'm going to show it in the dark in a minute so you can see how the light looks. But yeah, I like the green on there, and it really, really fits in with the whole house. And this is it. The winter garden is finished. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.